Hey guys, Ben Labadie here, and I'm with Ward 2 candidate for council here in Chatham-Kent, Anthony Ceccacci. Anthony, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
We are officially live with Ben. Okay, so again, you guys know how this goes. You know, share your comments, your questions. If you have anything that you want to share yourself, feel free to share it, and that's what we're here for. If you're watching this on the replay, don't be scared. Still comment, and you'll get back to them by going the old school way of typing things in, and you'll probably do that anyway. So
absolutely, for sure.
So everybody knows how this works, and please hit that share button so that these candidates can get the exposure and get to know more people. So again, thanks for coming in, and why don't we start by telling us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I've lived in Ward 2 my entire life. I have a fiance, Sarah, and a stepson, Tyler. I currently work in Chatham. I'm in the retirement and assisted living field, and I'm in the management in that department. So I'm looking after seniors at this aspect. So
Awesome. Hey Aaron. Hey Tony. He knows what's up. Ryan Jackson, Jonathan North. Hey guys. So how does that kind of work help you? You know, what made you want to go into being a counselor?
Well, I guess you do see the needs of some people in regards to like our seniors, as well as you see different issues, as well as the different issues that I deal with. We deal with we're a smaller facility. We're one of the smallest facilities in Chatham-Kent, and we are family owned, so it's owned by a husband and wife. So we're a small business technically, and I do a lot of the stuff on the budgets, a lot of the policies. I help with the policies, and just basically the everyday lifestyle. And I work with people, and that's what I want to do and bring to the council table is be a person that's approachable and that can work with people.
Awesome. Anything that you're really passionate about specifically that you're running for?
Well, there's a lot of things that I think that in Chatham-Kent that we need to really focus on, like in regards to the different kinds of activities, in regards to bringing different businesses in. I think that being to bring businesses in, we have to focus on what's here. But obviously, there's a lot of things that I do feel a lot of the counselors and candidates that are looking for are kind of focusing on in regards to we have to look at affordable living as well as tourism, different aspects of the housing infrastructure. So there's a lot of things that I would really like to look at and have the opportunity to work with the ward and the municipality with.
Awesome. Okay. Hey Pat. Hey Chris. And okay, we already got a question here. Craig comes in with this question all the time. So, do you support municipal tap water? Thoughts on plastic water bottles and all other single-use plastics? So this is more of a recycling-related question.
So do I support our tap water? Absolutely. For 11 years, I actually read hydro and water meters for contracted for the municipality. I do drink tap water every day. At home, we don't buy bottled water. I do happen to have one here. I'm going to be completely honest because I knew that I was going to get thirsty, and I wasn't sure when I seen it was the office building if I'd have time to grab a glass. But I drink tap water all the time, and we don't ever purchase water at our house. And I think that for large sporting events, there can be some difficulties, but I think that I have no problem drinking tap water. Absolutely.
Awesome. Hi Megan. Hi Mandy and Pat. So Mandy's the one that made these mugs so that I don't have to waste plastic bottles, so I can just drink out of this.
They look great, Mandy.
So thank you, Mandy. Okay, so you're in Blenheim area, Erio, Ward 2 is quite large. What else is there? People think of it as Blenheim, but it is Erio.
Sure.
Other spots?
Sure. Since we're going to kind of go into that, what I want to do quickly is we're talking about our ward. So I've seen a lot of people bring in Ben little gifts and kind of as a thanks to having me. I did bring him some things from our ward. So I'll let you open them up here.
Okay.
So one good thing about our ward that some people maybe in Wallaceburg don't know, that along Talbot Trail we have a lot of really nice things that are available. That's right. So we have Partoville, which has some amazing things. We have some orchards. So I literally brought him some stuff from the Partoville Bakery as well as Delhaven Orchards. It's literally like 3 minutes from my house, so I figured that it was beneficial to bring something from our ward. And I didn't think if I brought you a shirt that you'd probably wear it. And if it was a recycled shirt, I don't think it would fit Ben. So I wanted to make sure that I brought him something that he could use and kind of from the area. So that's actually
is that glazed?
That's a homemade lemon loaf made right at the Partoville Bakery there. So
this looks fantastic. You guys can't see it because of the plastic on it, but it looks like it's got a sugary glaze on it.
So when I went in there today, it was actually before they opened. They let me in, and they were basically packaging stuff right there.
So lots of peaches and the blueberry muffin. So again, where are these from?
So that's right on number 3 on Purtleville. It's literally just if you're around the Cedar Springs area, if you go around that area along number 3 highway, and I was talking to somebody in Wallsburg actually. It would have been Thursday, and they weren't aware that along that that number 3 highway there that we have some really great little shops that have a lot of bakery, a lot of fresh produce. It's all homegrown stuff. So I wanted to make sure that I give that area a little plug, because I think it's very important when you're not just talking about shops, but in regards to produce, that in the summertime we have the ability to support local. So
awesome. That's really cool, man. Thank you very much. And this just looks delicious. So I'm gonna probably dig into that right after. Stephanie Duffin, way to go, Anthony. Wade, best of luck, Anthony. Rooting for you. And
thanks, Wade.
Nice
Thanks,
gift
Stephanie.
bag. You got points for the gift bag.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
So that's really good. So the business in the Ward 2 area is a lot more agriculture related.
For sure.
Anything else? What are your ideas there? What are your thoughts there?
So I've had an opportunity, and one thing that I like to do, if I'm elected, I want to continue to network, right? So in networking, it's important to ask different people's opinions in certain things. So one thing I wanted to do when I first decided to go in my campaign, I wanted to make sure I touch base with a lot of farmers and farmers that I know, because obviously being in Ward 2 is very important. So, and a lot of things that they have issues in regards to the farmers that I think that we need to focus on is the draining aspect. Yep. That's very important for them to protect their investment, as well as, like, I did a little video the other day in regards to their infrastructure. A lot of these farmers, they pay a lot of taxes and they have lots of multiple properties, and they really just want to see that their roads are safe. They want to ensure that the roads are graded, that they're plowed, the ditches are maintained, because they don't have garbage pickup.
Right.
I know you touched base on that. They don't they don't have the luxuries of a paved road. So they basically they're not concerned too much about the actual tax money they're spending. They just want to see that the benefits of them paying that taxes around their property. So I really think that's something that we really need to focus on in the Ward 2 area, as well as the outer areas of the municipality of Chatham-Kent.
Awesome. Okay, so we got one from Scott. Now, there's been a controversial issue lately in the area, and I was thinking it was probably going to come up today. So, Scott Tate, the controversial billboard from Petrolia has been taken down at the request of the person who placed it there. How do you respond to the message? Do you think the message reflected the vision of the municipality? Just a little before here. I don't think that message speaks for everybody, number one. And we do see, I was just in the States last week, and you see tons of communities with a lot of weird signs that you definitely don't agree with, or sometimes they're just bizarre. But are you aware of the sign?
So I was aware of the sign, and I was aware of the response, and so I was definitely aware of that. So if you question, then my response would be it's a very tough decision, in regards to the different aspects of freedom that someone has. To me, I'm totally against posting stuff like that, regardless if it's someone's opinion or not. I myself, I was able to meet one of the mayoral candidates. I actually participated and attended the festival here in Chatham-Kent, the Pride Festival. So I really want to make sure that the people that are watching this don't get a kind of a negative vibe in how Chatham-Kent is perceived. I think that we are a small community that's made big strides in that area, and I think it's really important that we ensure that we were very inclusive and tell everybody that we're diverse. And I don't really think there's a reason why we should disrespect anybody anymore, regardless of anything that they decide to do in life, as long as it's within the means, and that's it's like I said, I'm totally for everybody being able to basically operate how they want to operate in life, and that's not something that I think we should allow in the municipality, but it also comes down to if that's something that we have a say in. But it's not beneficial to anybody, and I can tell you from talking to hundreds of people in the last little bit and attending that festival that our as a society doesn't want to be perceived that way.
And if you guys seen online the response to the sign, okay, you will know what Chatham-Kent is made of, because there was a ton of people that came together to really demonstrate how inclusive we all are. So if you guys paid attention to that or have been following it, you look at just the mass response on people for inclusivity. So there's, you're always going to have this very, very small group of people who are radical on one way or the other for something that you might, is not a social norm anymore.
For sure. And
So-
I just want to add one thing into that too, if you don't mind, Ben.
Yep.
You know, like I don't think that a sign like that is beneficial to anybody. So to you know, so I just think that you know, in life as we go, and in being a small community, we just have to encourage that you know, everybody's respected and everybody's loved, and you know, together we can accomplish the things we need to do. If we start separating and creating a divide, it's not beneficial to nobody.
Absolutely. Okay, Dylan, go get him, Anthony.
Thanks, Dylan.
Let's see here. Great guy right there from Jason Reynolds. Sorry
Thank you.
I'm late. Was updating. You're going to rock as a counselor. So you got some support out there. So what are the big things? Well, if you could pick one big thing, you know, that you could accomplish at the end of 4 years by being on council,
Okay.
what would that be?
So I guess there's a lot of big things that I want to do, and I think that some of the candidates that you've touched base on as well is there's still a little bit of separation in regards to the different wards, right? So, and you see questions about that all the time in regards to, you know, Chatham separating himself from, you know, from Ward 1, Ward 2, Ward 6.
Right.
I think that we just have to really to get together a little bit more, you know, just togetherness, right? So we can achieve more things. One main thing is affordable housing. That's something that I think that we really have to get on the dialogue right away. And I had an opportunity to touch base with Ben a little bit before our interview here and talk about it. From a builder standpoint, getting into affordable housing, there's not a lot of benefits. You know that being in real estate, there's not a lot of profit there. So we as a community, we as a municipality have to improve our dialogue to the federal and provincial government to ensure that we can get something done here. And not just in Chatham, like you go to Blenheim and there really, or the surrounding areas, there's really no affordable housing. And I think that we have to invest in our people. And if you invest in our people, then I think that we can achieve a lot more things, which is part of the big picture why I am running. Obviously everybody wants, you know, the infrastructure improved, but it all comes down to what are we willing to spend, right? So
Absolutely. So you got a bunch of people here. Hey guys, if you're just watching now, hit that share button. It's right there for you to hit. So just do that for us if you could. It would be greatly appreciated. So how old are you?
me just turned 40 actually. Yeah.
You just turned 40.
Just turned
Okay,
40, man. Yes,
you look
correct.
young. I was thinking you're in your 20s or
No,
something.
I wish I was. I got an old football injury here that tells me I'm not in my 20s. That's for sure.
So why not? Why not earlier?
So I have a stepson, and he's going to be turning 12, and you know, my fiance works, and as well as I work. So now he's at the age, you know, that he's able to be a little bit more self-efficient.
Right.
And as I'm kind of working with, and I'm going to be completely honest with you, in the field that I'm in, I do almost all the tours at our facility, and not just seniors, but you really see the need of that. There's just people that really have nowhere to go, right? So, and I started to think to myself, and I just kind of had the idea in my head, I think I might want to run for council. And as I was talking to people, it kind of snowballed, and people said, you know what, you'd be really good in that position. So here we are right now.
And that feels good. It gives you a little boost of confidence.
Yeah, no, for sure, absolutely.
Awesome. Brooke, let's see here. Recently heard stats over 700 on wait list for housing in Chatham. So social housing and affordable housing, I can tell you as a realtor, I mean, tons of wait lists. That's on all income levels, not just the lower income level. I get calls nonstop about, hey, can I rent something?
Yeah,
Where
for
can
sure.
I rent? And these are people that, you know, just had a recent separation, just moving into the area, but they have nowhere to go. So the housing is a bigger issue, and we do tout Chatham Kent as affordable living, but until our wages go up here,
That's right.
We're getting our people that live here are getting priced out a little bit.
For sure, and that's a big thing. So like I've had recent family members that just sold houses. I sold a house, and I can honestly say that if I was looking for that same house, most people in my income bracket, they're not going to stand a chance at getting that house, right?
Right.
So in some aspects, it's a good problem to have in regards to that means we're attracting some people, but in the people that are here on the wages that are living now, there's a huge issue, right? There's huge problems, and you know, and that goes right around to the businesses as well, because we want to make sure that you know, we're open for business, but we want to ensure that we have the people of the housing here for not just the people that are retiring and keep it age friendly, but people that have all incomes as well, right? So
and those just starting out, you know.
Yeah, for sure. That's right. Those are starting out. You know yourself. How hard is it for them to purchase a house, even in Chatham Kent now, right?
Yep.
So, yeah.
Okay, let's talk about tourism. Okay, you know, Chatham Kent, you know, we're huge.
Yeah.
But the Ward 2 area actually has a ton of stuff that draws people in.
Absolutely, and I think one of the recent councillors that that was in the mix before, that is not, and the ones that are incumbent now, did establish a good foundation in regards to some of the tourism out there. And honestly, like if you're watching this video, and I know that some people don't come from that are just new to the area, that may be moving to Ward 1 or whatever, they don't understand how the fishing is in Erio right now, the waters that we're surrounded by, like. People go up north, travel up north to go fishing.
Yep.
Honestly, go to Erio. It's the fishing is so hot right now. You got the charter boats out there, the bay on the one side, the lake on the other side, establishments to enjoy yourself on. But what I really think that we need to do from a council perspective is adapt different ways to bring them people here. If you go on, the hottest spots to fish in Ontario, it's hard to navigate through to find, Erio. So we need to invest money. We've currently, in the past we've invested money in regards to traveling outside to accommodate and bring in more business and tourism, but maybe it's beneficial that we start producing things and making it more accessible and just like people like yourself. There's a lot of young individuals in this area, right in Ward 2, that are part of integrated marketing. Right. Let's utilize them from a municipal standpoint. Instead of marketing our business, let's market our community. Let's get out and do these videos that are very interactive and very fast approaching, not little elevator music with a sailboat in the background.
Right.
Let's get out and get the people here. We have the aspect like Grand Bend right here, but from a municipal standpoint as well, it's a little difficult for them to kind of establish little businesses and start pop-up businesses,
yeah.
right? So.
Awesome, good answer about the tourism. Now let's get to transit. Okay, so we got bus transit, ride sharing is just kind of I don't know where we're at there with ride sharing, but in the Ward 2 area, it's a distance from the main Chatham area, and then also you've got people from the Chatham area wanting to get out to say Erio. I know they got the beach bus and stuff like that. And what are you thinking about transit overall?
So I think that it's we have it in the summertime and it's beneficial, but I really need to. I think that we have to make sure that it's very it's streamlined, right? So I know that I've known people in the past that have tried to use it, and because of the hours, it's a little bit more difficult. And we just have to make sure that it's streamlined and it's still available, because I know a lot of people from Chatham that don't have their license, that are on a fixed income, that utilize that service. So I think it's a great service that we have, and I think we even maybe more beneficial to even inject a little bit more money in there if possible, right? So. Right.
Hi Art, hi Vicky, Twin Powder Arena thoughts? Yes, we'll get right to that because it kind of ties in with transit. Hey guys, as usual, make sure if you got questions for Anthony, be sure to ask. If I'm missing a bunch of stuff that you want to ask, make sure to bring it up so that he can answer those questions. If you're watching on the replay, make sure you can comment there as well, and you'll get back to them.
Sure.
And again, hey, do us a favor, hit that share button, hit the like button if you like. Twin Pad Arena thoughts. Okay, so multi-sports complex.
Yep.
A lot of people get confused. Is it just an arena? But really, we need something like a multi-sports complex, not just hockey.
For sure.
And now, with Blenheim, you got an arena there in Ward 2.
Yep.
What do you think about having one overall super?
So I guess so obviously I'm a huge hockey fan, and hockey, everybody knows that's Canadian, that the hockey is a huge pastime. So I really think that there's a lot of benefits into having a large complex.
Right.
I just want to make sure that where the funds come from to build it, and not just if we build it, who all has access to that, right? So Blenheim, we're lucky, like our arena could use a little bit of work, but we have a gentleman out there that takes good care of our arena, and our arena is not that bad a shape, but I don't know, you've probably been around the community as well. I know I have. I used to organize a lot of ball hockey. There's a lot of tired arenas in Chatham. Yeah. But one thing I want to say about that is that if we decide to build it within any construction, we have to make sure that the game plan's right, that the timeline's right. But the longer we wait, the more money it's going to cost us, right? So Absolutely. They say 10 to 15% every year in a large commercial build like that. It potentially could go up, and I think that in one of the recent buildings you've seen an increase, and that's just the way the economy, what it's doing, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah.
Awesome.
So there's benefits to it, but we have to ensure that all the dollars make sense, so to speak, right?
Perfect. Okay, make sure you ask your questions. Throw in some comments if you wish. How do we retain, in your opinion, youth? We got a lot of people. We've had a declining population. It's kind of building back up. We don't know exactly what we're at right now, but what would you say, or what would you do, or any ideas on how we could keep youth here or skilled jobs here? People go to school and come back.
So I think that we have to establish the fact that Chatham-Kent, we're open for business. So like I've been asking a lot of people in regards to their opinion on certain things, and they sometimes feel there's a little bit of a hindrance in regards to being open for business. So I think that if we're open for business and kind of keep our mind open for the young people coming back, that they can establish new kind of state-of-the-art businesses, would be beneficial. But ultimately, it comes down to schooling. So we lose a lot of young folks from schooling. So we have to maybe is it a way that we can create a dialogue to have like satellite schooling? We have some old tired buildings that and some schools that may no longer be in use. Is there a way that we can get an affiliation with some of these local universities or local colleges that we can keep some of our young people here? Because if young people leave, even if a small, 50% come back, that's still 50% we lose, right? So we have to understand that we have a small community, so we have to make it worth their while to stay. But like you just kind of touched base in regards to the wages here, a lot of times the youth is going to see the wages somewhere else and realize that staying here kind of costs them money. So we have to make it a positive place to stay, an inclusive place to stay, and a place that's open for business, that thriving. If we make the businesses thrive here, maybe those people will come back and invest in our community, and that's what we need.
Awesome. Now, what about the businesses that are thriving here? I see a lot in the, just looking for workers, looking for skilled labor, and that comes back into something saying there. How do we help these people develop the skills to go to work here for the employers that are already doing well and wanting more workers? So
that's a really tough question, actually, Ben, and it's a good question, because right now, even at our facility that we operate, we're struggling to find employees. One of the local establishments here at healthcare facilities actually did basically a whole streamline where they're looking to see what we can do from a municipal standpoint to generate more people in certain fields, right? So I think things like that, and that's kind of behind the scenes. So I think kind of generating videos and generating interviews and dialogue between people to basically say there's jobs here, there's opportunities here, but we also have to have the living quarters for that to bring those people in. So if there's not those living quarters, or if there's not those affordable living facilities, we have to make sure that they're here, because people aren't going to come just to work if they have no place to stay, right? And you know yourself from being in real estate, I'm sure that we're not developing at a pretty rapid pace. And what we are developing are $300,000 houses, which most people cannot afford to live in.
With high taxes on those houses.
With very high taxes, right? So some people can't even afford I've talked to one gentleman, he just moved to the area and he loves his house. He said he paid half of what he paid up in the kitchen rate, but he's paying like $10,000 a year in taxes.
Absolutely.
That's a lot of money.
That's a big house. Brooke, is Uber still coming to our community? What happened with that? I don't believe Uber had plans to come here. I know there was a push to try to get them to come here, but I don't think the area was right for them at the time. But I have seen a bunch of ads for U-Ride, which is another ride-sharing program. And I do believe that, don't quote me on this, I think council has done something to allow ride sharing to kind of be created here or to develop. Are you aware of any of that?
So I've actually, basically what you said I'm aware of. I know that I was under the perception as well until reading that I thought like Uber was basically coming into Chatham, but I don't think it was more of the fact that they were coming in. They were just looking at the opportunity if they were to come in. Right. But I think that they are trying to develop some ride sharing because let's face it, the taxis in this I think are we down to one company now? I think so. Yeah. Yes. So it makes it very difficult, and transit in Chatham's difficult, but it all gets into the whole infrastructure and the dollars, right? Because we don't have, if the money's not there because people aren't utilizing it, then it's not like Toronto where 60% of the population utilizes, public transit, right? So it's difficult. We have a lot of difficult in our demographics, so we have to ensure we're working together as a team to benefit everybody. Yeah. So that brings us into, since we're talking about, ride sharing, that bike infrastructure. Okay, so we don't have a whole lot of lines on the side of the roads for bikes and that, and at the same time that doesn't promote people using bikes like other communities. We're, in my opinion, behind in many ways there, and it does cost money
to put that together. Where are you at with bike infrastructure? Do they have that kind of issue in Ward 2? Is it brought up to you too often?
I got to be honest with you, but like obviously safety is a huge thing, right? When it comes to the infrastructure of the bike lanes and that. I can remember years back, and I don't want to say the years, that they took the time to go out and spray paint a bunch of lines, and they're all faded now. So I think like as a municipality, if we decide to do that, which I think you can't always look at the short-term cost. Sometimes you have to look at the long-term benefits. So if we're repairing roads, is it beneficial at the time when they're being torn up to add that paved shoulder in? I actually watched one of the other gentlemen that were on here, and the kind of question came up, so I looked into it a little bit. And in fact, the reading I'm doing, I've seen is the bike lanes do basically improve the longevity of the roads as well, right? The shoulders and that. So I can't see why it wouldn't be beneficial. It's just that regardless of who's in council, if it's 4 years, 8 years, or 12 years, it has to be a long-term plan. Spending money on something short-term and then getting away from it, it doesn't make any sense. So I think if we do that, we have to look at it as like a 20-year plan, not 4 years, the next council, or we don't want to do that. If we're going to paint lines, or if we're going to pave shoulders, we want to make sure it's progression and not regression. So.
Awesome. And that would help the community be a little bit healthier, maybe.
For sure.
More movement there, because we are not the healthiest community in Ontario. So what could you do maybe to promote health? I don't know. A lot of times when you get employers of bigger companies looking for locations, they looking for the health of people, especially with sick days and stuff like that. They want a healthy kind of healthy employees, and we're not really on the radar being awesome.
No, for sure.
So what could we do there? Does the Sportsplex, does bike infrastructure, all in trail systems kind of tie into that?
But yeah, and that's something I know I think Ben looks like the guy that you should be asking about the health questions. He's the guy that can run 30K or whatever. So, but no, honestly, it's obviously really important, and we have the we have the atmosphere to promote it, right? Especially in the summertime. Like I know it gets into liability issues, but we have the the lakes, we have the bays and that. So is there ways that we can promote health with like paddleboard classes or stuff on the beach, or having like how they do different activities with the kids on the beach, and in organizing some activities, right? But it all comes down to the fact that we have to network together to ensure that where it's at. Because let's face it, if we do a lot of programs, it's in Chatham because of the numbers, right? Is it possible to have have the play rangers where they go municipality to municipality, but make it more like a networking where every day, once a week, maybe we're somewhere. But obviously, health is really important. And that rail line, I know you've talked about that a little bit in regards to that that trail. Is that something that we can look at utilizing in regards to a trail? But for kids, we have to develop more programs and kind of make it something that they can utilize and make it fun and an atmosphere that they're going to enjoy, right? So
awesome. Justin likes what you said. Well said, Anthony. And hi, Brenda. And hello, Sue. So let's talk about the rail line. The municipality purchased a rail line a while ago now. You can't do nothing about that. There's rail on it, there's stone on it, there's railroad ties on it. That could be sold. And what do you do with that after? What are the opportunities there? Obviously, my idea is to make it the Great Ontario Marathon Trail, because it's the exact distance of a marathon. But what are your ideas? So,
I mean, actually, I've because I'm been very open in regards to I've been receiving a lot of messages, and they've asked me about the rail line, and obviously this current council, there's nothing they can do about the decisions that are being made past, right? And like with yourself, in real estate, sometimes you probably see somebody who buys a property and been like, well, why did they buy that property? But hindsight is 20/20, so it's easy for us to say the decision. But now we have property that we've acquired, so we have to ensure that we can basically get the most out of it first. So selling the aggregate, selling the metal, and then we have to, as a community, decide what we want to do. And I think that it's important that we do that just as a community. We touch base with all the different people in the municipality that have a say, because obviously if we do it for like marathons or bikes and that, then that's going to make the ATVs obsolete, right? Because we're not going to want to have people on sleds and on with ATVs on that. So what are we going to do with it? Because it is a way to attach different communities together. So if it's on a bike, if we think that we can get the best use out of it from a bike aspect or a running aspect or even a trail, what if we planted some local plant species around that and made it just a nice place for a nature walk and have different kind of signs and touch base about our municipality, right? Like, so I think that there's lots of benefits that we can do, but we have to utilize it. It's ours now. We have to start caring for it, and we have to budget to care for it.
Awesome. Good. So you kind of support the idea of a trail there.
I
the
support
Great
the use of-
Ontario
there's-
Marathon Trail.
Yeah, there's no reason for the municipality to have something that they've invested in just sit there, right? So it's just a matter of finding the niche for it and the best use. So I don't agree with kind of deciding right away what it's for, but touching base with folks like yourself and people that are active in the community and trying to find the best use for it and the most use that'll be predominantly used as well, right?
Awesome.
So, yeah.
What's going on, Aaron? Aaron is my barber.
You do a good job, Aaron. I don't see no Nick, so.
Yeah, trying to have my perfect hair, but that goes out to Aaron. Thank you very much.
Good job, Aaron.
So, what do you see as challenges that we face in the community, specifically Ward 2, and then as an entire community?
So there's a couple, and I think the challenges that I've seen are the biggest challenges are demographic. So
Okay.
we are a massive, municipality, one of the biggest ones, largest ones in Ontario. So we have a ton of infrastructure, and I guess when people hear infrastructure, they just hear basically about the roads and that's
Right.
it, right? But we have a mass amounts of infrastructure, and that's why our tax dollars are high. And I think in talking to some people, when I kind of let them know, and some people know that we live in a sparse community, but they don't know the different aspects. We have some roads that literally have 3 houses in 4 concessions that have to be maintained, right? So that's something that we have to bring people in. We have to bring people in, and by bringing people in, we have to focus on the people here first, so we can kind of get more tax dollars in to have a surplus.
Right.
And then another obviously a big thing that would be like we talked about all the with the affordable living and all that stuff as well. So
Yeah.
but, yeah, and then obviously, so.
Yeah. So just so you guys know, the municipality of Chatham-Kent is huge compared to most other communities, and we have a low population. So low population, say 105,000, they have to pay for more roads, bridges, kilometers of roads, And when you get out to the country, a ton of little tiny bridges. So those things always have to be maintained. You got streetlights. So we have so much area that we have to cover with so little people. So population growth, like you said, it's a major deal.
We have to look at that, and like I said, if we to build, you have to focus on what's there, right? It's no different if you're building a house. If you're building a house, if you're making adding an addition, you have to focus on the foundation. So we have to focus on us, who's here right now. That's our foundation. We have to focus on the local businesses, and a lot of people, I think, they're really focused on industry and factories and all that. But local businesses here is something that we have to build on, because if they're thriving, if they're creating good business, that's going to create other people to come here. But we have to find a way to build around the area, not just Chatham, but all over. And we have to try to find a way. But the thing is, a lot of it's the builders. The builders can sell $300,000 and $400,000 houses. They're going to sell that. So we have to find a way. And another issue I think that we have to ensure is that we're just basically telling everybody we're open for business. So
and a lot when you come down to is for building is the servicing. There's a lot of fees that go into making a lot ready for a house. So that makes it a little cost prohibitive to make if we could build a $150,000 or $100,000 box literally with 2 bedrooms, people would buy them up nonstop.
For sure.
It doesn't make it the most affordable thing to create.
That's right.
Right.
For sure. And the other thing too that I think that we have to really look at from Chatham-Kent is that because we're smaller, we're really country feely, right? We have a lot of country. We have a lot of countryside, and sometimes there's a little bit of pushback in regards to industry, right? People don't want the factories close to new factories in our areas because they're worried about the pollution. So we have to ensure that if for us to benefit, we have to have people here, and that might make us have to work with different different kind of facilities and factories to create them, right? So
awesome. So Chris June, who's running in Ward 6, population density is about 41 people per square kilometer. So that gives you an idea. When you look around, you got 1 kilometer of stuff.
For sure.
41 people paying for it, right?
In London, look at London. Like if you do that, like they said that the ratio in some areas of London is like 10-1. So I mean, you get 10 people, comparing their tax rates to our one. So it's hard for us to just say, okay, let's spend the money, because everybody wants to ensure our taxes are already considerably high. If we start just building things and fixing things, then we're going to get to a point where it's going to be astronomical. And with the cost of the houses, as it is now. But I can say honestly, though, I think that council previously has did a decent job in keeping it where it's at least, because with you see that some of these houses are going up 20%. Your taxes that go up under 2%. at least we're keeping all the people in mind so far. Right?
Yeah,
So,
a lot of times though, at the same time, when the house pricing goes up,
yep.
your taxes automatically go up
Yeah,
without your taxes going up.
That's right.
So the value of your home might have went from 150 to 200.
Yeah.
Now you're paying,
That's
as you get assessed, that's a $200,000 house.
That's
no
right.
longer
That's
before.
right.
So it's kind of like a secret way of raising taxes for the guy.
And some of it's out of control, right? And
Yeah.
then people think that it's always good, but like I have a lot of friends like Ben in real estate, and it's good in some aspects because people are coming in, but it makes it difficult to sell a house because you have multiple people trying to get that house, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of broken hearts, right? So
Absolutely. Okay, so what do you believe is one of the greatest opportunities? Again, one specifically for Ward 2 and for the municipality of Chatham in the next 4 years. Greatest opportunities.
Well, the greatest opportunity is that we have the space to build, right? We have the space to potentially to grow, but you have to ensure that it's on the proper properties because
Right.
we're not going to touch the agriculture. But we have the space and we have people coming here now. We have people wanting to retire here, but we have to make sure we focus on the youth retention and the business retention. And I think that we have to grow from that. So we have to focus on the growth and just to base, so if we can get that growing, I think that we can thrive for sure.
Awesome. Casey, Mark, Colin North. That must be a whole family in one Facebook account. What should we do about the youth in town? Most of the stuff in town for the youth is just at the mall, and Little Park should be adding stuff for the youth in the city, like something the old wheels. I'm trying to hit this, so if you see me approaching the screen here like this, I'm trying to hit that button, and it's not working for me. Use it more a lot of time used for adults. So. Yeah, what can we do for more youth? We covered this a little bit there before, but yeah, so like the wheels, hockey courts, and more concerts since we have a band stage. Why don't we use it more a lot of time? And that's more specific, I think she's talking about, or he is talking about, Tecumseh Park in downtown.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think that, and anybody that's from the area, how long have you been here actually, if you mind me asking, Ben?
39 years, man.
So one thing that we have to kind of get away, and you touch base about it, is perception, right? So, yourself, you've been here 39 years, I've been here 40 years. Sometimes when we try to do things, it's not well supported, right?
Right.
So I think if we continue to support the different events that are transpiring, there'll be more of those events because the precipitation, the people participating. If we don't focus on those events, if they're not getting good turnouts, it makes it difficult for the municipality to be active, right? And one of the things in regards to like mental health that I want to focus on is engaging people and
Right.
creating these inexpensive events is very important. So I agree 100%. But like I said, in Blenheim they do a great job, and I know a lot of it's actually John Paul I think just said it. The Rotary Park there, a lot of it's private, but it's about the community networking together to establish those things. I can tell you every Thursday in Blenheim, and that's the thing is everyone wants to stay in Chatham or Wellsburg, but travel our community. So if you're in Chatham and you're bored on a Thursday, head down to Rotary Park in Blenheim. They have great bands and all
Rotary
that.
Park is that beautiful spot right in the middle.
Beautiful spot.
And if you guys haven't seen the Rotary Park, it's you got a splash pad there.
Yeah, splash pad, a band well, and beautiful landscaping, nice grass, and utilize it. You don't have to be just. That's the thing is that's one thing that we have to be inclusive with each other. So it doesn't matter if you're Ward 1, Ward 2. I was at chathamkent.ca. So if you go on there, you can see things, but focus on the Facebook groups. So utilize that. Just because you're from Chatham, it doesn't mean you can't attend. I'm pretty sure Toast and Jam's coming up on Tuesday. They're a pretty well-known band in the area.
Yes, they
Go
are.
check them out Thursday. Make that place happening. Show everybody what kind of a networking, great community facility we are and great place we are, and hopefully it'll just keep building, right? So
Awesome.
Momentum's a good thing sometimes.
Yeah.
Right?
Trevor Thompson says hello. Hey Trevor, you
Mr.
owe me
Thompson?
some maple syrup, and Anthony has brought some peaches and a bunch of stuff here. So,
That's from his neighbor. He knows those guys. That's from Trevor's neighbor.
So yeah, Trevor was on the other day. So again, we're going to wrap up here pretty shortly here, and I'm almost out of coffee. So get your last questions in. If you have comments or opinions or whatever you want to share quickly, make sure to get them in right now. If you are on there, hit that share button. The candidates, every candidate that comes on here, this is exposure for them to get out there, but it's also great for the people in the community to get to know the candidates by watching these and participating. So do everybody a favor by hitting that share button. I appreciate it. Anthony will appreciate it.
Definitely appreciate it.
And every other candidate that comes on here really appreciates it. So syrup is coming tomorrow. Okay, so just wrapping up, and hopefully you come back here during
for sure.
campaign.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes.
What can you tell people from Ward 2 specifically? Why should they vote for you? I mean, you got a bunch of people running. What separates you from everybody else?
So I guess there's the biggest thing is, and one thing I want to touch base on a little bit, Ben, too, is that you'd be surprised, and I guess you actually wouldn't be surprised because you're going to do a little run to kind of educate people on the importance of voting. But one thing I really want to touch base on is the importance of knowing how the actual procedure goes, right? Yep. So you can vote for 3 people in our area. So I think I really want to bring a team approach to the horseshoe. I really look forward to working with the local people that if I were to be elected, is elected, and I want to be the grassroots type of counselor that you're able to call with concerns, that will network with people. I want to be personable, and I'm going to be completely honest. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to be that policy guy that's sitting here saying what we're going to change and making promises I'm not going to keep. What I want to do is be that person that you see at the grocery store. If you have a question, if you see out or you want to call me, I will do my best. If I can't help you, I can't help you, but I will get back to you. I will make sure that your voice is heard, and I'll make sure that your opinion is expressed. So that's the person I want to be. I want to be there to help build our community up and continue to build on the foundation that's been laid with our last council. So perfect.
Hi, Cheryl. Jamie, thank you for hitting the share button there. Great interview from Ryan Jackson, who also is running in Ward 6. Hometown boy, that is a great team player. That so you got some fans out there. So hey guys, we're just gonna wrap this up. Hopefully you come back on. I'll be seeing you somewhere anyway.
Yep.
And again, guys, you can comment after if this was a replay. If you're watching this on the replay, and you'll get back to them. You got a website that you can direct people to, or a Facebook page?
Yeah, for sure. You can go to elect Anthony Ceccacci for R2 or aceccacci.com. And before Ben wants to wrap up here, I do want to say on behalf of the community, I really appreciate not just having me on, but I think what you're doing is a great service to the area because I think it's engaging people. Obviously, with you seeing thousands of people, 1,500 people watching, it's engaging. And if the worst case scenario, what I want to do is ensure that people know the whole procedure. And in fact, I talked to somebody yesterday who said he's voted in every election. He didn't know he could vote for 3 people in our ward, right? So what you're doing is a great thing. And I actually think people like Ben to be in a short answer is an answer to some of our issues in this community. We have to network together, little things like this, and then big things like this. Having companies that go out and do this kind of stuff and just engaging people, I think would be beneficial to our community, which you're doing. So thank you very much for that.
Well, thank you for the kind words. And another good thing that somebody actually brought up the other day is that they were disappointed they can only vote for so many people after watching these interviews and getting to know the people. So that's really good. So when people get to actually hear a conversation, we talk normally, rather than specific talking points in 1 minute, So that's kind of good. Thanks again, Ben.
And I think that has good points and bad points, Ben, too, for sure. It's just that you always want to make sure that certain wards aren't outweighed by other wards as well, too, right? So if you had, sometimes, and whether it be right or wrong, some people, because of the amalgamation process, they think that maybe because they're smaller centers aren't paid as much attention to. I think if you happen to have an election, so to speak, and what happens if 17 of the people are from the Chatham area, well then it's going to create more of a diversion, right? So we don't want to have a division. We want to have an inclusion. So if sometimes I agree with that 100% in some aspects, but in other aspects, if that were to be the case, then it would be a little bit difficult for some people to see, is our best interest really being taken care of, right? So,
right. Dilray Anthony is responsible, professional, mature, personable, and cares about the best interests of the people and the community. I think you got to vote right now.
Well, I hope so. Get out and vote, though, Dylan.
All right. Okay. Again, Anthony.
Thank you so much,
Thanks
Ben,
for coming on.
I appreciate it.
Hit that share button for him, and my cup is done. This is over.